Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật.
People with high self-ego who do not respect their parents or images of their parents on the altar work in any company, they will also not respect their superiors. If they are married, they might flirt behind their spouses. They had to act and pretend to be an ideal life partner. They would be very nice to their future parents-in-law. Would you accept this person to be your son-in-law if you knew that he smashed his parents' altar? I am afraid not. If the director of his work knew that he treated his parents disrespectfully, they wouldn't hire him. So no one punishes him at all to make his life miserable. If the less self-conceited one is, the more people will love him. The bigger the self-ego, the more people will hate him. If he has many people hating him in this world, although the world is very immense, there will be no place for him to survive, so he can become rich and wealthy. That is how I answer about prosperating to the Buddha statue is blessed, or prosperating to the live Buddha is blessed. As the Buddha said, if you bow to the Buddha Sakyamuni because of his enlightenment, remember the enlightenment was his and not yours. If you bow to the place where Buddha was born, the Lumbini Garden, it was just a hospital for the Buddha. If I admire the American scientist Thomas Edison, who invented 1,000 inventions, and I go back to the hospital where he was born, and he cried for the first time, that was just a place to celebrate his birth. If I go back to the place where he went to study at the university, this place was just a place to train him. And if I go back to the place where he received 1,000 patents, this result was his accomplishments and not mine. So the Buddha said that seeing the Buddha in flesh and bones when he was still alive, or seeing the clay or bronze images of the Buddha statue when he died, are not equal to seeing your Buddha's nature. However, seeing your Buddha's nature will be the end of the story. I have many Buddhist followers who say that listening to the Diamond Sutra, but when their husbands say some unpleasant words, they still get mad. The wives say some complain, they still get irritated. I have a Buddhist follower who is a doctor. He said that he listens to the Dharma talk quite often. One day, a client insisted that he did bad dental work for her, but her dental work was done in a different practice and was done by a different dentist. However, the client would not listen and give him a difficult time. Although he already listened to the Diamond Sutra, he said that he was very angry and frustrated and did not want to treat this patient. He then asked me how to rid the delusional mind and retain the true mind, even though he has just listened to the Diamond Sutra preached by the Buddha, but he still could not control his delusional mind. Let me give an example. Saigon is your hometown, and you somehow got lost in Hanoi. Then someone showed you the direction to find a way home. But the distance between Saigon to Hanoi is nearly 2,500 kilometers. It will take you a very long time to get home. Same as listening to a session of this Dharma talk and start to turn around. You leave the wrong path and turn around to the right path. You walk a few days but do not reach Saigon. You probably get to Vinh or Nang Ang. As you walk longer, you will reach Hanoi, then to Quang Ngang or Quang Tri. Keep walking and you will go to Phang Rang, Phang Tít or Phan Ri. It will take a long time to reach your home. Just like we cycle back and forth in the 6 paths of samsara and live with greed and delusion rather than the Buddha's nature. So we have to cultivate for a long time to attain the Buddha's level. Now that we have known the essence of the Diamond Sutra, we have to practice this essence, which means cultivating and practicing Dharma. We have to apply it every day, and we will use this Diamond Sutra to rid the delusional mind and retain the true mind. Detaching from a small part of a delusional mind is also revealing a small part of the true mind. Giving up 2 small parts of the delusional mind is obtaining 2 small parts of the true mind. That is the result mentioned by the Buddha. The Buddha also said, whoever listens to the Diamond Sutra and strongly believes the Buddha or disrespects the Buddha statue or his Dharma, then these people already obtained the first level of arhat. They have only 7 times of birth and death. They need to practice, and slowly they will return to their origin, which is the Buddha's nature. Remember, in this sutra, the Buddha wanted to show us how to see our Buddha's nature and to control our delusional mind. Therefore, the Buddha rejected all the blessing in this world. If you lower your self-esteem, you will respect your superior or the manager at your workplace. You will respect your Buddhist fellows. If you have an engineering degree, but you respect the labor workers, then you will earn the respect of others. This blessing is due to lessening your self-ego and detaching from the four forms. The purpose of the Diamond Sutra is detaching the four forms and self-ego, nothing else. Please remember this carefully. A Buddhist monk who dwells on the forms while teaching his disciples, then this monk is still far from the Buddha, and his Buddha's nature is far away. We have to break all the opinion formed by the narrow mind and thoughts that are created by the delusional mind. The more we respect sentient beings and break the self-ego, the more merit we will receive, and the closer we are to our Buddha's nature. In the end, we will be able to rid the delusional mind. No one gives the blessing, and no one gives the sin. That is my personal opinion. Your parents will not reprimand you if you don't prostrate them. Respecting the remains of your parents, they will not bless you either. But respecting your biological parents, your parents-in-law, your husband, and your wife, and your colleagues will make you blessed. Doesn't matter where you go. That is the meaning of the verse. A cut on a rich person's hand hurts as much as a tear of a beggar's intestines. Because rich people have more egos. Let me give you an example. If there is a millionaire who came to the temple and fell, the entire executive board of the temple would be trembling because rich people have money to hire lawyers to file a lawsuit. Meanwhile, a beggar fell in the kitchen and was bleeding all over the place. But the board director doesn't worry much because the beggar has a lower ego than the rich. The merit we received is from breaking off our ego. The sin we receive is because of our ego, which leads to disrespect. That is my answer. I now start the Dharma talk to the next section of the sutra. The Buddha taught the elder Dubode that anything that possesses a form, then it is just an illusion. Even though he was born during the time Buddha was around, he sat in front of the Buddha and he looked at the Buddha in flesh and bone. But when the Buddha asked him if he saw the Buddha or not, Elder Dubode stated, no, he has not, because he knew that seeing the form, but not the form. Then he was seeing Tathagata. Seeing the Buddha in flesh and bone, but not seeing the Buddha, then he really saw his Buddha's nature. The Buddha then listens to the elder Dubode, and he asks the next question. World Honored One, will there be people who, when they hear this teaching, have real faith and confidence in them? The Buddha replied, do not speak that way, Sahutu. 500 years after the Tathagata has passed away, there will still be people who appreciate the joy and happiness that comes from observing the precepts. When such people hear these words, they will have faith and confidence. That is the truth. Now that such people have sown seeds not only during the lifetime of one's Buddha, or even 2, 3, 4, or 5 Buddhas, but have in fact planted wholesome seeds during the lifetime of tens of thousands of Buddha. Anyone who even a moment give rise to a pure and clear confidence upon hearing these words of the Tathagata sees and knows that person, and he or she will attain immeasurable happiness of this understanding. Why? Because that person is not caught in the idea of a self, an idea of a person, a living being, or a lifespan. He or she is not caught in the idea of a dharma or the idea of a non-dharma. He or she is not caught in the notion that this is a sign and that is not a sign. Why? If you are caught in the idea of a dharma, you are also caught in the idea of a self, a person, a living being, and a lifespan. That is why we should not get caught in the dharma or in the idea that dharma does not exist. That is the hidden meaning when the Tathagata says, "But this excuse you should know that all the teachings I have to give you are a raft." All teaching must be abandoned, not to mention non-teachings. This section is very good. Please listen to me. Elder Dubare, after listening to the preaching of controlling the delusional mind and retaining the true mind by the Buddha, he became enlightened and immersed himself in the Dharma. He was dumbfounded and wondered if any sentient beings that listens to this section also have the belief and understanding of the essence of the Diamond Sutra or not. The Buddha told him not to say something like that. 500 years after that, the Buddha has passed. As you all know, whoever was born and met the Buddha when he was alive then was called the heir of the correct doctrine Dharma. This era lasted about 500 years. The year 501, after the Buddha has passed to year 1000, was called Semblance Dharma. That is very similar to the correct doctrine Dharma era, or when the Buddha was still alive. Anyone who attended the Dharma assembly and listened to a verse or sentence of the sutra would attain at least the first level of arhat. A layman who had been less influenced than needed 3 or 4 times to attain the first level of arhat, which is only cycling birth and death 7 times before entering nirvana. Some had some influences, then obtained the second level of arhat, which is also known as once returner, because they only have 1 more cycle of birth and death before entering nirvana. Some also obtain the 3rd level, which is called never return. They will be reborn in heaven, and once their dharma are fulfilled, they would become an arhat. There were some that attained the arhat level just like when the Buddha was alive. There were many monks and nuns who also were enlightened during this era. As you can see, the Buddha emphasized, after he had passed for 500 years, that the correct doctrine Dharma was over, and it was during the semblance Dharma era. Please listen carefully. I will repeat this section again. Elder Dubode asked the next question. World Honor One, will there be people who, when they hear this teaching, have real faith and confidence in them? The Buddha replied, do not speak that way, Debuttu. 500 years after the Tathagata has passed away, there will still be people who appreciate the joy and happiness that comes from observing the precepts. That is, after the correct doctrine Dharma era, there will be people who cultivate it by holding the precepts and giving alms. The Buddha did not say meditation. During the time the Buddha was alive, meditation was the key to enlightenment. All the Buddhist disciples practiced meditation only, and not any other methods. After year 501, it was the beginning of the semblance Dharma era. People cultivated by holding precepts and giving alms firmly. They did not have time to practice meditation, but they still attained enlightenment. All they have to do is hold all the Buddhist precepts and practice the 10 goods. They also believe the Diamond Sutra was the truth. These people have sown seeds not only during the lifetime of one Buddha, or even 2, 3, or 5 Buddhas, but they have planted wholesome seeds during the lifetime of tens of thousands of Buddhas. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be happy to know this. There were not many people who have enough blessings to be born during the correct doctrine Dharma era, or when the Buddha was still alive. They were Varnamo Anang, Elder Dubode, the Buddha's aunt, and a few hundred nuns. During the semblance Dharma era, people cultivated by practicing alms giving. We were born 2,600 years after the Buddha passed away. But we are still able to listen to the Diamond Sutra and still have the pure belief. This sutra really guides us to control the delusional mind and remain our true mind. That is when this sutra truly benefits us. Other sutra can only help us have more blessings, but we are still cycling between heaven and earth. Once our blessing is depleted, we will fall into the 3 bad paths of hell, devil, and animal. According to this sutra, anyone who believes seeing the Buddha in flesh and bone is not the real Tathagata, then he will see his Buddhist nature and the truth Tathagata. Whoever believes in saving all sentient beings, poor and rich, being born by egg, by womb, by spontaneous, or in the moisture, to obtain arhat and remain in everlasting nirvana. But the truth is, there was no one who was saved. Whoever understands this section of the Diamond Sutra, then this person attained not 1, but 2 Buddhist assemblies, but many Buddhist assemblies, but still haven't rid the delusional mind and retained the true mind. Therefore, we are still cycling in birth and death. It was because of the karma of the previous life, the Buddha said, that it was not me saying this. The Buddha also enlightened, so his words were the truth, not delusional. Whoever listens to the Diamond Sutra and uses it wisely, then all their sufferings will end. Don't be sad and think that you are not blessed because you were born in the ended Dharma era and couldn't see the Sakmani Buddha. As long as you understand and respect this sutra, you use this sutra to detach the forms, the right and wrong Dharma, and you have already obtained it, Buddha's assembly. Please try hard so your predestined Buddha's seed will sprout in this life. These are the words from the Buddha. He said 500 years after he passed away, anyone who cultivates by holding precepts, doing the 10 goods, during this era, meditation was no longer the main method of cultivating. The year 501 to 1000, holding precepts and doing the 10 goods are the main methods of cultivating. We are in the Dharma ending era. During this era, we mostly compete with each other. Who has the bigger temple? And disciples of this Dharma master are not allowed to listen to other Dharma masters. We are jealous and full of hatred. It is called the Dharma ending era. However, this is not the correct doctrine era, resemblance era, or ending Dharma era. It was all because our mind created a different Dharma era. Whoever was born in the Dharma ending era but listens to the Diamond Sutra, then he is in the correct doctrine Dharma. Whoever was born in Buddha's time but did not listen to the Diamond Sutra, according to the Buddha, this individual is in the ending Dharma. Ladies and gentlemen, please be delighted because you are predestined and blessed with unmeasurable merit. Why is that? Because these sentient beings no longer dwell on the forms of self, forms of others, forms of sentient beings, and forms of giving and receiving. Please don't misinterpret that listens to a sentence or a verse, then you will be blessed with uncounted merits. We need to practice and live with the sutra. Extraordinary, profound Dharma teaching took millions of lifetimes meet this Dharma. Now I listen and tirelessly practicing to obtain nirvana's true meaning. It is next to impossible to know the Dharma. Once we understand that we have to practice so that we can reflect the true meaning, which is Buddha's nature. That is, if the Buddha was born in this world just to teach us to give alms so we can be wealthy, beautiful, famous, and be reborn in heaven, that is not the true meaning. His purpose was to teach us to rid the delusional mind and retain the true mind. That is the main goal of all Buddhas in all the Mahana Sutra such as the Lotus Sutra. The Buddha said his appearance in this world is to help the sentient beings to understand and recognize the Buddha's nature. The Buddha preached the Diamond Sutra to help the sentient beings rid the delusional mind and to retain in the true mind. From these we can see why the Buddha's Dharma is extraordinary. Let me ask you a question. Why is the United States population a little more than 300 million and roughly 8 to 9 billion around the world? How many people are actually able to listen to the Diamond Sutra? How many are not? People can reserve their time to drink and socialize at the bar. I have a few disciples who can drink from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. They then sleep for 2 hours and go to work at 5 a.m. But they don't feel tired. However, when they attend my monkhood event starting at 4 a.m. by reciting mantras, they feel really so tired. As you can see, because the lust of indulgence covers the wisdom. People don't get tired from talking about drinking parties, beer and liquor, buying live poultry and eating them, bragging about their nails or hair salon, their diamond rings and or their cars. But once they are done talking about their personal stories, they will talk about other people. How this person is poor and that person doesn't have happiness in her family. That lady married 2 to 3 times. Once they are done with talking about other sentient beings, then they will talk about forms of giving and receiving. This person will tell about his personal eating style. That person talks about drinking style. Some likes to drink beer, some likes to drink liquor. Because of the difference in the form of giving and receiving, once they are drunk, they will have confliction and argument. Because of that, they will then fight with each other. If you observe these alcoholics, they talk without the beginning and the ending, but they can still sit together to drink all weekend, from Saturday to Sunday, and do absolutely nothing productive. What type of people are more out there? People who like to waste time, or people who are predestined with the Diamond Sutra? Extraordinarily profound Dharma teaching took millions of lifetimes meet this Dharma. Now I learn and tirelessly practicing to obtain Nirvana's true meaning. When the Buddha claimed that listening to a sentence or a verse of the Diamond Sutra will receive more blessing compared to other sutra, is because you have to understand and practice its essence. To understand it thoroughly, you have to listen carefully and retain in your mind. If you listen from one ear and let it go out the other, then you cannot understand. Some people recite the great compassionate mantra, receive more blessing than the others. Why is that? Because the essence of the great compassionate mantra is compassion. We must practice with compassion mind to all sentient beings. As we listen to the sutra, we retained in our mind, and we practice it, then we will receive blessing. There is no blessing if you just listen to a verse and forget all about it without practicing it. As you hear the sutra, you remember the sutra, and understand it thoroughly. You then practice it so that you can obtain the true mind of Tathagata. That was what the Buddha truly wanted. Besides this, everything else is just a technique to help sentient beings. That was the reason the Buddha said that his Dharma preached for the sentient being is like a draft to get to the other side of the river. Once you reach the other side, you have to leave the draft behind. Therefore, correct Dharma or incorrect Dharma are all must be left behind. What is incorrect Dharma? There are many people who dwell on incorrect Dharma without knowing it. For example, an owner of a nail salon doesn't have many clients after reopening, and people told her to buy a coffee for the god of land and cigarettes for the god of fortune. These gods will bring her many clients. Is that correct Dharma or incorrect Dharma? There are many people who dwell on incorrect Dharma without knowing it. So buying a coffee and a few 5 cigarettes to have these gods bring more clients. Then a difficult client shows up and complains her nail broke. You then curse at these gods that they are not powerful. That is completely the incorrect Dharma. Whether she is a Buddhist follower or not, it is incorrect because she made an offer with conditions in return. The God of land is real. The Earth-Stored Sutra mentioned many gods, from gods of the mountain, gods of the river, gods of trees, gods of grass, gods of the day, gods of the night, and gods of the land. But because of the calculated and greedy mind, spending $5 with hope to gain $5,000, offering small things to get the big things. Don't think these gods don't know about it. They all know it very well. The reason your nail salons are busy are because of your good hand skills, your top-notch customer service, how well you treat your employees with fairness, and how you keep your nail salon clean. The happy clients will bring you more clients. The bottom line is, your nail salon is busy because of your personal efforts and not because of the gods of the land and fortunes. We can see this is incorrect Dharma. Some of you like to make offerings to the Buddhist monk to receive blessing. As long as you see a monk, you just blindly donate your money without knowing the monk. In the Buddhist teaching, respecting a monk is like seeing the Buddha. However, you keep making offerings to him without investigating whether he uses his donations to serve sentient beings, or the 3 Dharma jewels, or maintaining the systems of the 3 Dharma jewels, or let the predestined people come back, or he uses the money to build a house for his parents, or buy expensive cars like a Mercedes for himself. The form of offering will bring you very little blessing because we respect the Buddhist cassock color. In a passage of the Diamond Sutra, there was a tiger that had a golden fur and took refuge in Buddha. The king said if anyone shoots a golden fur tiger, would receive a big reward. The hunter wanted to kill that tiger by changing his hunting clothes into the Buddhist cassock. When the tiger approached the hunter, he fired his bow to kill the tiger. The tiger recognized the hunter, but it dared not kill him because the tiger respected the Buddha's robe. The Buddha's scriptures stated that because of respecting the robe, the tiger did not dare to kill the hunter. Obviously, the tiger died, and the human received his reward for killing the golden fur tiger. However, when the Buddhist monk wears a cassock, using Dharma to make a living, he will destroy the faith and temples left behind by the Buddha. From there, people will look at the yellow cassock with aversion. I want to say the tiger respected the cassock and the Buddha. The tiger knew this man was fake, but because he did not kill the hunter, because of the no-killing precepts, the tiger repaid his karma from killing so many animals and men. The hunter wore the Buddhist cassock to kill a tiger for its golden fur and gave it to the king for a reward. However, a disguised Buddhist monk who wears the yellow robe to guide the temple and did wrong things. If you want to know whether making offerings to him is a blessing or not, you can observe him to see whether he is selfish or not, whether or not he repaid the four majors, which are his parents, country, teachers, and to the sentient beings. If he does anything to receive more than you, then he will be able to transfer you some merit. The Buddha Sakyamuni gave up his royal crown, whether his monk gave away his wealth or not. Or he came from a poor family because of poverty, so he entered the monkhood. The Buddha Sakyamuni left behind many royal palaces, and this monk, without a wife and children, now he has 3 palaces. The Buddha was cultivating under the tree, and this monk is living in a mansion. Making offerings to this monk will bring you sin instead of blessing. The Diamond Sutra is the sutra that specializes in disrupting form. Anyone who still dwells on the cassock without seeing a monk only benefits himself, but not the sentient beings. And he absolutely does not have any merit from making offers. Diamond Sutra is a sutra that breaks off the formalities. The correct Dharma will eventually be detached, not to mention the incorrect Dharma. Respectfully yours. Next week, I will continue to preach the next section of the Diamond Sutra. I vow to dedicate this merit to the parents of those who are listening to the Dharma talk. Whoever is still in the 3 evil paths of hell, devil, and animal, if the Buddha's words are true, then today they will be reborn in the heavenly realm of Buddha's Dharma. Thanks to the merit of preaching the Diamond Sutra and your practicing the sutra, your life will change. Without dwelling on the form of selfness, form of others, form of sentient beings, form of giving and receiving, you will not differentiate the clay, concrete, or bronze Buddha. You will return and retain your Buddhist nature. I wish you happiness. Nam Mô Công Đức Lam Bồ Tát. I vow to transfer this merit to all sentient beings to become Buddha. Nam Mô Công Đức Lam